The time is 6:15. Here is the news edited by Dilini Gunawardena, read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the discussions held to obtain agreement of India and China are fruitful. China assures that it will continue to assist Sri Lanka to overcome economic crisis. Minister Bandula Gunawardena says positive responses have been received with regards to the bailout due to be received from IMF. Power and Energy Minister says the license of fuel filling stations that supplied fuel ignoring the QR quota system would be cancelled. Foreign news. Al Jazeera reports the topic of Ukraine is taking center stage at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. Sports news. The National Super League 4-day cricket tournament will commence on Thursday. Local news in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the discussions held to obtain agreement of India and China are fruitful. He expressed his views at the Parliament today. The President also requested all the MPs to work in unity to provide concessions to the public and to relieve them of the hardships they are undergoing. The government is doing its best in spite of the economic crisis. A surplus harvest has been obtained due to the accurate policy on agriculture. Even though some are accusing the government on spending money on the 75th independence celebration, it is an investment made for the future of the country. Many institutions will be established and laws needed for the reforms will be invented. He further assured that measures would be to purchase medicines required for the year 2023. Accordingly, an allocation of at least 30 to 40 billion rupees would be made for this purpose. However, placing orders would take some time, the President said, further adding that also he does not want to let people suffer from shortages of medicines. It has been planned to establish an institution for economic and trade affairs. Universities of agriculture, sports and climate change will also be used to the education field with the help of foreign universities. A high-level delegation of China's Communist Party led by Vice Minister Chen Zhu, head of the CPC International Department, called on Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at Temple Trees yesterday and assured that China would stand by Sri Lanka in the current economic crisis. Chen Zhu said Sri Lanka is a very special friend of China and they are considering how they could assist Sri Lanka to get over the current crisis. During the meeting, Chen held a detailed discussion on how to enhance Sri Lanka's China bilateral pragmatic cooperation and party-to-party exchanges between the CPC and progressive political parties in Sri Lanka like Mahajana Eksat Peramuna. The Prime Minister said Sri Lanka looks forward to China's support in restructuring its debt at the moment and further strengthening its economy in the near future. He recalled the long-standing relationship between China and Sri Lanka with emphasis on people-to-people relationships covering trade unions and socialist political parties. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news, Sri Lanka's cabinet spokesman Bandula Gunawardena has assured that positive responses have been received thus far with regards to the bailout due to be received by Sri Lanka from the International Monetary Fund. Responding to a question at the cabinet briefing this morning, the minister noted that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ali Sabri, had assured that positive responses have been received pertaining to the extended fund facility which Sri Lanka is seeking from the IMF. Thus, he noted that agreements are currently being reached between India, China and Japan about the restructuring of Sri Lanka's debt, adding that the board approval for the IMF bailout will likely to sign in the first quarter of 2023 based on these agreements. A delegation of investors from the United Arab Emirates led by His Royal Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Mokhtar bin Juma Al Maktoum visited Port City, Colombo recently during a special visit to Sri Lanka for the purpose. Discussions were held between the members of the delegation, representatives from the Colombo Port City Economic Commission and Port City Colombo with a view to attract foreign direct investments to the project. The delegation was given a comprehensive overview of the Port City Colombo's development and plans for the future, which the delegation commended, followed by a tour to PCC Marina. Port City Colombo is a large-scale development project covering an area of 269 hectares of reclaimed land. It aims to serve as a new economic hub for the country, offering a range of commercial and residential opportunities. The project is expected to bring significant economic benefits to Sri Lanka, including job creation and increased foreign investment. Power and Energy Minister said the license of the filling stations that supplied fuel, ignoring the QR quota system, would be cancelled immediately. An official said several filling stations do not follow the National Fuel Pass QR system in fuel distribution. The decision was taken during a progressive review meeting held with the officers of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and Ceylon Petroleum Storage Terminals Limited. A meeting was held to review the QR distribution mechanism, and later the decision was taken to suspend several fuel stations that did not follow the quota system. The recovery of the 105 billion rupees owed by the CEB cargo plans for an uninterrupted fuel supply and the continuation of the refinery operations were also discussed at the meeting. That ends local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Regulations under the Export-Import Control Act was taken into debate at the Parliament session held today. State Minister Ranjit Chembalapetia said that import of certain goods was restricted in order to stabilize the economy of the country. It resulted in saving an amount of $1,211 million. MP Anura Kumar Disanaga said that the public are undergoing the after effects of the long-term economic policy. That ends main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight, the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka has approved power cuts of 2 hours and 20 minutes for 17th and 18th of January 2023. The PUCSL stated that the power cuts will be enforced for groups A to L and P to W during the period. A 1 hour power cut will be implemented during the daytime, while a power cut of 1 hour and 20 minutes will be implemented at night. That ends Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
World News headlines first. Al Jazeera states that the topic of Ukraine is taking center stage at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. Putin says Russian economy likely shrank 2.5% in 2022. NASA's Webb telescope has discovered its first exoplanet. World News in detail. Al Jazeera reports the topic of Ukraine is taking center stage at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. It said Ukraine has economic ramifications around the world, including on the global food crisis and the global fuel crisis. It has further said the main topic of this discussion centered on whether Ukraine's Western allies would supply it with the battle tanks Kyiv has requested. President Vladimir Putin said on Thursday that the Russian economy was likely to have shrunk by 2.5% in 2022, but that performing better than most experts had predicted. Putin, who was speaking at a meeting with the top officials including the finance minister and central bank chief, also said real wage growth needed to be stimulated. NASA's Webb telescope has discovered an exoplanet, which is any planet that is outside of our solar system for the first time. The planet, called LHS 475b, is nearly the same size as Earth, having 99% of our planet's diameter. However, it is several hundreds degrees hotter than Earth and completes its orbit around its star in 2 days. LHS 475b is the constellation Octans and is 41 light-years away. Scientists are still trying to determine if the planet has an atmosphere. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Al Jazeera states that the topic of Ukraine is taking center stage at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. Putin says Russian economy likely shrank 2.5% in 2022. NASA's Webb telescope has discovered exoplanet. That ends world news.
Development news.
Sri Lanka's first water park built and certified to Europe Health and Safety Standards A, CIK certified leisure and professional karting track by David Perry's Group Leisure Cluster formally opened Pearl Bay at Bandaragama. The facility has 4 key zones that consist of water slides, leisure karting, air rifle shooting range and restaurants, as well as relaxation and activity areas for the entire family. Addressing the gathering, the chairman of the DP Group Leisure Cluster emphasized the need to provide leisure and entertainment options for both domestic and international tourists for the sustainability and economic development of the nation. The park will open to the public on January 26. That ends development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
The National Super League 4-day cricket tournament will commence on Thursday. It has been organized by the Sri Lanka Cricket Institute. 5 teams will participate for the tournament. Kavindu Mendes will be the captain of the Dambulla team. Ramesh Mendes is the captain of the Gold team. Kusal Mendes will be the captain of the Colombo team, while Dhananjaya and Niroshan Dikwal are acting as the captains of Jaffna and Kandy teams respectively. The tournament is to be played at the RPM Dasa Stadium, SSC, Pisara Oval, Pallekele, Dambulla and Hamantara playgrounds. The match will be conducted from Thursday to 5th of next month. That ends sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැ කරන්න එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The founder chairman of the Selin, Sandra Vanduragala, has been recognized by Forbes Asia in their over 50 lists, where they have recognized 50 women over the age of 50 from the Asia-Pacific region who has reached exceptional heights in their industries and inspiring the region's next generation. Sandra is the only Sri Lankan female entrepreneur to be recognized in this way and also one of the few Sri Lankans to be recognized globally for their work in the Sri Lankan handloom and craft industry. In addition, Selin's pioneering work in the experimenting with blockchain technology to create radical transparency in their supply chain and product sourcing is highlighted in this recognition. That ends business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new new NSB Ithru account. NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Economic news, courtesy of... For the 5th consecutive year, LOLC is awarded People's Financial Services Brand of the Year at the 2022 Slim Kantar People's Awards. As the People's Financial Services Brand of the Year, LOLC continues to place the customer first, and this has won the hearts, minds and trust of Sri Lankans, with yet another prestigious award as proof of this lasting commitment. LOLC, imagine the possibilities.
Head of the Department of Forestry, University of Sri Jayawardena, Professor Hiran Amarasekara said that the government has taken a policy decision to remove all pinus plantations in the systematic manner due to environmental constructions and not to plant new plantations in the future. He was speaking at the Chamber of Construction Industry of Sri Lanka's get together with the University of Sri Jayawardena Department of Forestry and Environmental Science conducted seminar on trends and treatment of wood and wood-based products for the construction industry of Sri Lanka at the Sri Lanka Foundation Institution. He added that due to the wood is freely available for the timber processing industry and entrepreneurs should make the most of this opportunity. That ends economic news.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
Weather report.
Showers or thunder showers in look at several places in western, Sabaragamuwa, southern, central, Uvu and northwestern provinces during the afternoon or night. Fairly heavy showers, about 75 mm, can be expected at some places in the Sabaragamuwa province and in Nuwara, Kalutara, Kool and Matha districts. Several spells of showers may occur in the eastern province. That ends weather report. To wrap up the evening news on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the discussions held to obtain agreement of India and China are fruitful. China assures that it will continue to assist Sri Lanka to overcome economic crisis. Minister Bandula Gunawardena says positive responses have been received with regards to the bailout due to be received from IMF. Power and Energy Ministry says the license of the fuel filling stations that supplied fuel ignoring the QR quota system would be cancelled. Foreign news, Al Jazeera reports the topic of Ukraine is taking center stage at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. Sports news, the National Super League 4-day cricket tournament will commence on Thursday. With that, we wrap up the evening news on Radio Sri Lanka.